Thank you very much.
Okay. A pleasure.
Thank you, Volker. I think it's become clear that Mercedes-Benz Vans is transforming, that it is moving beyond hardware, and that it has already been hard at work.
Right.
So I really encourage everybody to go into the Expo Labs to start realizing and understanding very concretely and specifically what you just outlined.
Okay.
But before we do that, we really wanted to give you the very first quick opportunity to address your questions to Volker, because it's a real significant change, and it's a big transformation, and it's now your time to ask questions about what we just said. So we're going to do this the very regular way. We have colleagues with microphones running around. Please just raise your hand. Would you be so kind to tell us your name and also your media, and then we go. We start with Ed, who has the award for the fastest hand today. Edward Taylor from Reuters. Thank you very much.
Number one.
Good morning. Edward Taylor from Reuters. Aside from the new challenges posed by digitization on the platform situation, what is your view about the barriers to entry into the van business? We've seen some startups create vehicles that are directly competing with what would normally be the classic customer segment for Daimler. I'm thinking of Deutsche Post's street scooter, which they've set up on a fairly low budget and a small team. What is that? What do you think about that? If a company can decide, I'd rather build my own van than go to someone like Daimler.
I think one thing is pretty good on that planet. Everybody is free to do what somebody would like to do. That's, from my perspective, first of all, a very positive signal. But the same is, how should I say, counting for us. Therefore, I think you got a kind of a flavor what we would like to go for. So far, we are, how should I say, developer and a producer and seller of vans. And now we are moving to the next level, how we call it. We would like to provide our customers with holistic systems to give the best support to their business, that they can be more efficient than today. This is what we are heading for. And at the final end, I think it's great to have competition, because competition is always driving our business forward. This was in the past the case and will be also the case in the future.
Thanks, Ed, for that fast hand. Who's second? Right over here. Thank you very much. The microphone should be in place already. Yes, thank you.
Johannes Stoffels for Investors. I have 3 small questions.
Maybe can you take the mic a little bit closer to your mouth?
Johannes Stoffels for Investors. I have 3 small questions. You mentioned that you so far invested 500 million euro into your plans. How much more do you want to invest in it? Which future revenues do you want to get out of it? And can you give a kind of a timetable? When is this van going to be on the market? Thank you.
Can you repeat the third question?
Can you give a short timetable? When is the van going to come into the market?
Okay. Your first question was regarding how much you would like to invest above this 500 million, which I already mentioned. At the final end, I have to say, it depends on the ideas we will have. You know, that's a kind of a start investment which we will do, and in this kind of startup mentality which we implemented there, it's all about ideas. If there are much more ideas that we can invest first, okay, we have to think about how much in good ideas we will invest more. It's all about the ideas we have in place and how we can then attract with these ideas our customer, then for sure we will spend more. The second question was related to, the third was when we will bring the first ideas into the markets. I think it's also in this kind of technologies, it's a bit different as we do it in our, how should I say, core business when we develop cars and products. In that kind of a business, from the first beginning, we are together with first customers and in the way that we make pilots and we check out and figure out how the first ideas are working in the real world. And then it's a kind of a step-by-step approach. That means with the first ideas we are in the market already, and then when it is really, we achieved a level of, how should I say, maturity then we will go into the market. There is not a fixed data which we have in mind. It's everything related to how successful we are on the way to develop from a first idea to a, how should I say, marketable product.
And
it's a step-by-step approach.
Some of the stuff we might even see at
later
IAA.
on, in a few minutes, and some of the stuff, right, we will show then on the IAA in Hanover. Second question was
The second
future revenues.
The second question was about the future revenues.
So revenue. Sorry, that I forgot it. Yeah, that's a bit of the same. Normally, in our core business, we make business cases in a very detailed way, no question. But also in this new kind of a startup mentality, where each idea has to come on the table, and then we make some projects, we'll make some pilots. There we see then how successful the idea will be, because it's a new field, it's a new era. If you're doing from the first beginning a business case, what might be the revenue then out of it? At the final end, maybe we will then stop a good idea, because in the first glance, in the first step, it looks not that profitable. For sure, it might happen then on the way after some milestones that we will see, okay, this was an idea which will fail, because at the final end, it's difficult to handle it, difficult to our customers finally to come to a, how should I say, efficiency approach. Then, okay, we stop it. But in doing that, we learn even more, maybe some new things, and then we can boost forward some other ideas, in a kind of a lessons learn methodology, and that's how we work in that field. It's different. It's different, to be honest, for us, because normally we are used to work hardly on business cases, very tough projects, but this is new in the kind of a startup culture and startup methodology.
Up front here.
Sascha Palmberg from Mobageeks. As we know, and listening to Gert's keynote earlier, thinking about Moore's law, where the processing power is doubling every 18 to 24 months. And when we look at the development cycle of a new car, which is kind of in between 5 to 7 years. So how are you guys tackling that challenge that the developers and the engineers that you have are actually developing a car that will be outdated in about 3 or 4 years?
To be honest, perfect question. Because this idea is within my team, you can say more or less each day on the table, how we deal with it. Because in our core business, especially, how should I say, the field of regulations, is that kind of tough. Think about emissions, think about safety, think about quality, what the customers expected from our vans. They expect always the best, and our products has to work 24/7. But if we stick for that also in the, how should I say, new field, where we would like to act as a provider, then you are right, we will be always too late. Because maybe some other guys, they will develop it in a very short-term notice, and then maybe we did it perfectly in 3-4 years, but we are convinced that other companies or other startups will do it in half a year or in 1 year. Maybe they are not that kind of 120% perfect, but have a look on your smartphone. You will get each week a kind of a release, new update. You are happy that you get that, because you have always the feeling, there is something new in. Maybe at the final end it is not 100% perfect, but you will get always something new. And this is how we have to organize our organization. On one hand, we have really worked very precisely, very dedicated, because we have to be more than perfect. And on the other hand, we have a kind of a startup culture in our team, and this is what we as a management have to organize, that we can deal in our organization with these kind of, you can say, two cultures. And in the future, I'm convinced that also our core business will maybe learn some stuff from these new guys in our organization with a new way of thinking. But I think it will also go a little bit the other way around, that these new guys will learn a little bit what it means to develop very sustainable. And therefore, I think at the final end, it will be a win-win. But you are totally right. We have to, how should I say, or we will have two kind of speeds in our organization. You're right. Yeah.
Thank you, Sasha. Next question is over here, please. Thank you very much.
Eduardo Gaspar from Automotive Portugal. You have talked about holistic system joining vans, drones, robots, and people. And how about trucks? Are the fleet owners need to have two different systems, one for vans, robots, and etc., and other for trucks, or is it going to be everything united?
Also, a good point. I think there are different opportunities. It depends on if you are really in the inner circle of a city, if you are in a suburban area, or when you are more or less, how should I say, somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And therefore, that means we will, and we have the chance to offer in the future different mobility services. There are some ones they will stick to the vans because maybe these are perfect for their, how should I say, daily business. But at the final end, when it comes to efficiency and when it comes also to speed, because maybe as you know, some of these e-commerce companies, they would like to deliver within 1 hour. And then you have to find different opportunities that you can transport the goods then to their final end customers. Therefore, I think there will be a mixture out of all these things what we are today will show to you, the van, the robot systems, and the drones. And maybe at the final end, we will find something different over the next weeks and months. You never know. But to some extent, it will be a mixture.
Thank you very much. We got time for a couple more quick questions. One in the front line right here, please. Number 3 is coming up.
Angus McKenzie from Motor Trend. In your platform idea, there's a lot of hardware, i.e. the vans.
Sure.
Who's going to own the vans? Will Daimler end up owning the hardware, or will it be individual contractors? How's that model going to work?
I have to say, over the last 100, roughly 30 years, we are used to sell our products, or maybe release it, to our end customers. That means that was a kind of a ownership philosophy. But what we saw over the last 2 to 3 years, that there is a bit of a change coming up, that customers, they would like to have the assets by them, especially maybe when they cannot afford it, as maybe I mentioned in my presentation, or secondly, when they have to deal with peak times and downtimes and this kind of things. At the final end, okay, we can say we would like to rent short-term rental, maybe on an hourly base, or we would like to rent by use. If we will do that, I'm totally convinced somebody else will do it. Therefore, we developed in our organization and process that we can deal with that in the future, because as I already said, we saw kind of a move from ownership to usage. And that means finally somebody can then really rent a van from us maybe for 1 hour or for 1 day. Pay per use, you can say. Yep, we will do that.
Thank you, Volker. Let's go to the last question right here, please. And of course, there is a lot.
Maybe also there will come some more in Hannover.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hi there. My name is Sanjak from Haberturk, Istanbul. My question is about your staff. I mean, you already mentioned about your plans, about your future. But in order to get this in place, you need lots and lots of forward-thinking men and women. And the question is, do you have them? And how many people are standing behind this advanced system as an idea? Thank you.
Also a very good question, because at the first beginning we thought, will we get in this market as a, how should I say, old economy, OEM, will we get this? And can we attract these young people out there in the US, in Berlin? For sure, we know that in Stuttgart we can get them. So therefore, for us it was, in the first step, a bit of a challenge. But in the meantime, I have to say, we as the Mercedes-Benz brand, we have still a very attractive brand out there. And especially with this new kind of an approach that we give these young guys a different opportunity. For example, in the Silicon Valley, we hired people there at our hub. In Berlin, for example, here in Germany, we built up a new hub in this kind of a startup environment. And also here in Stuttgart, we really found these people who are very keen to work in that direction. Because on one hand, they see that they can really work very agile. They can take decisions in a very short period of time. They see their success also within days, within weeks. And this is what really attract them for our company. And I can tell you, we have these people on board. For sure, we will hire also in the future even more of these guys, of these digital natives. It was not that difficult as we thought at the beginning. Roughly, we have now roughly 200 people in our organization, as I said, in these 3 locations who are working in that field, in this advanced field, and generate each day new ideas. And you will see these guys, ask them later on how should I say, satisfied they are to work within our Mercedes-Benz Vans organization for these tasks. Ask them. Okay.
Thank you, Volker. Thanks for the opportunity to tell that story together with you and your team about the transformation of Mercedes-Benz Vans. I want to give some more housekeeping remarks. You can take your seat.
Thank you very much.
We will see you later. Thank you very much.
See you later.
Yeah.